Hi guys, so in this video I'm going to talk to you a little bit about usability reports. Unfortunately, the book that we are using does not have a chapter on usability reports, but it is a really useful skill to learn, and it is something that a lot of you will do, especially if you're going to have careers in tech. So usability reports and usability testing is a way of figuring out if something works the way you think it's gonna work. Not just if it works, but is it working the way you think it is? So, for example, a usability report could be like you've just created a website and you bring in a bunch of people who are supposed to be able to use this website and you watch them all use the website. And you may learn through your usability test that there's typos and there's flaws and like links that don't work, and those are all things that need to be fixed. But you may also learn through usability testing that all of your users totally ignored a tab. And why did they ignore that tab? Why didn't they want to use that tab? What do you not get as the designer? What is the disconnect between what you thought they needed with that tab and why they're completely ignoring that tab? You may find that all of the users really want something to be on the website that is not on the website, or they want something to be reorganized. Or maybe they're using the website in a way that you didn't imagine they would use it, right? Imagine that they're using it for something that you actually didn't even think they would use it for, and now you're realizing there's this whole other way of using the website that didn't even click for you. So usability reports can give you all kinds of information. A usability report is often tied to instructions, which is why we're doing it right after the instructions. If I write an instruction manual and then I give the instruction manual and the product to someone else, they should be able to build the thing or do the thing that the instructions say, and if they're not able to, that helps me locate problems with the instructions. Again, in terms of clarity, are the images confusing? Are the steps confusing? Is there something I should have gone over in a different order? Are my users completely skipping a step? Why are they all skipping that same step? Is there a step that I should have explained that I kind of thought was obvious and so I didn't explain it, but obviously it's not obvious, right? So instructions are usually tied to usability. And like I said, in the tech world, like an app, are people using the app? Are people able to use the app? Are there any glitches in the app? But also, are they using it the way you think? And often what comes up is there a function that they want that you have not provided? So imagine you're using the Uber Eats app and you wish the app could do something that the app does not do. And you're like, if the app could only do this one thing, it would be the perfect app. That's feedback that the designers want so that they can fix that and make their app more marketable. So usability testing is very much about finding flaws, but not just flaws in the sense of errors, but flaws in the user experience, right? So it may be a perfectly functional app, a perfectly grammar-free, glitch-free app, but when the user uses it, it doesn't work, not the way they want to use it. So that's what usability testing is. In usability testing, if you can, you would get a focus group of people who represent the people that the product is created for, and you would have them do what you want them to do with the product, and you would take extensive notes on all the errors they find, and they would take extensive notes, and then you'd collect that data and you could write a report. So one way that you would write a report for usability testing would be a formal report like the ones you guys did after the survey. That's one way a usability report can appear. It can also appear in memo form or email form if you want to go less and less formal, okay? But sometimes you can't get a focus group, and so somebody is just assigned to study the usability of something, somebody who was not involved in the design of the product, because there's a certain blindness that happens when you write a document. You can't find every error in your own document. That's true even of professors and scholars and writers. You cannot find every error. Your brain just doesn't let you, because you know what it's supposed to do, you know what it's supposed to say, and your brain will kind of superimpose that over what is actually there. So you need somebody who's not involved in the design to click around or use this or read it and try to find the errors and try to find the things that are missing or the benefits that the designer might have completely missed, and give feedback on the user experience of this product, okay? So for your next assignment, you guys are going to perform usability testing on the videos you guys just made. Of course, those videos are meant for professors, but we don't have a room full of professors. We have you guys, and you guys are going to be stand-ins for the professors. And if you read the prompt, which you should read because I'm not going to go over every detail here, but if you read the prompt, you'll see that you've been given 2 tasks. You're going to, number 1, watch the video and test the video instructions usability. So, for example, you should try to follow the instructions. You should try to do what the instructions tell you to do, like maybe have the video open and a browser open with the website or program you're supposed to be using, and try to follow the instructions and locate errors with the instructions. Maybe they skipped a step, maybe one step was really confusing, an image was confusing, they said something would appear when I clicked here, but actually something else appeared when I clicked there, right? So you're going to test the actual instructions, and you need to have a piece of scratch paper and write down every single thought you have that is relevant. It is incredibly arrogant to think that you can watch the video once and notice every single flaw. You will need to watch it multiple times. And it is also incredibly arrogant to think that you're going to watch the video, see every error, and magically remember all of them so that when it's time to write the email, you remember everything you noticed. You will not. You are not superhuman, okay? So you need to have a piece of paper, and you need to be taking notes while you're doing the usability test. And so on one level, your job is to test the instructions. If we were to distribute this video to professors, would they be able to follow the instructions as they are? So that's number 1. And then number 2, you're going to test the usability of the video itself. Imagine that you are part of a working group and your boss has decided this is actually just going to be the first video in a series of videos. Is this a good format for the video? Should all the other videos look like this and do what this video does, or what could be improved about the video? And I want to just say briefly, a usability report does not only report what's wrong, okay? You can go over what works really, really well, especially when you're talking about replicating it. What works really, really well about the video and should be replicated. But you do want to go over what might be a disconnect between the designer's purpose and the user's experience of the video, and the designer's purpose with the instructions and the user's experience with the instructions, okay? So after you've performed your usability test and you've written all these notes on things that are good, could be better, really not good, on those 2 different levels, the instructions and then the video itself, you're going to then write a usability report. And again, a usability report can be a formal report like what you did after you wrote the surveys. It could be a memo report like you did with your progress report, and it can also just be in an email format. And I'm trying to give you different experiences with different kinds of reports because reports are a very common text that is written in the workplace, but I'm also trying to give you experience writing different kinds of memos and different kinds of emails. So in this case, we're going to write it as an email. And on top of being in charge of usability testing and giving really good feedback, your other tasks here are going to be to write a good email that's easy to read, well organized, easy to follow. And then your other task is going to be managing your tone. So you're going to imagine that your boss is on the email exchange and he wants proof that you really tested this, that you really thought about it, that you're going to stop them from embarrassing themselves, right? You're thinking about the company's image. So you want to convince your boss of that. But you also have the person who created the video on the email, and you have people who were not involved in creating the video, but not your boss, who are also on the email exchange. So you need to manage your tone. You do not want to create enemies in the workplace. You cannot advance professionally if your coworkers do not like you. People might tell you otherwise. Movies might tell you otherwise. If your coworkers do not like you, you will not progress professionally. So it's really important to be polite and professional when possible. Some people very easily confuse being professional with being a little bit jerky. Okay, a little bit of a jerk. So sometimes when you think you're being really professional, it comes across really harsh, especially when you're giving negative feedback. So you do have to work to soften your tone. You want to be clear and precise, but you don't want to be like, this sucked, this was horrible, because first of all, the person who made the video is going to hate you, and second of all, the other people on the email are going to be like, I never want to work with this guy, and I never want him or her to evaluate my stuff in my stuff in future, right? So you don't want to create an environment where people are like, man, this dude or this woman is really, really harsh and not a team player. They're trying to make me look bad to the boss. And so you have to manage your tone, okay? So you want to be truthful, you want to be precise, but you want to manage your tone so no one is offended. And then, of course, I want a good email, like proofread, easy to organize, well formatted, so on and so forth. The prompt I've given you breaks down what the report/email should look like. If you think about it, it is kind of like a report in the sense that you have an introduction and then you went over your methods and then your results and then your conclusions. But because it's an email, it can be a little bit less formal than that and a little bit more mixed in than that. So you can go over your introduction and methods kind of together. And you can go over your results and recommendations together, right? In your report, you went over all your results and then all your recommendations. But in this case, you can say, you know, this was a problem I found. This is what I recommend. This is a problem I found. This is what I recommend. Or you can go, this is a problem, this is a problem, this is a problem. Here's my recommendation, here's my recommendation. It's an email. So it should be written like an email. You can use subheadings and bullet points and bold and italic and colors, but you're not just writing a formal report and copying and pasting it into an email, because that's a totally different document, right? You are writing an email usability report, so it should read like an email but have all of the information. Okay, so that's the trick here. But it's not a report in the sense that I don't want a title page and a table of contents and, like, you know, it's not a report copied and pasted into an email. It's an email that covers all of the same topics of a report but written as an email. Okay, but the key here is also to make sure that you do good usability testing and that your feedback demonstrates that you took this seriously as an employee at the company, who wants to have videos reflect well on your group within the company and the company itself, or in this case, within your group at FIU and on FIU in general. Okay, so I think that about clarifies everything. So your job will be to take a quiz and then to make sure you watch this video and read the prompt, and then you will be assigned a usability not a usability test, an instructional video. I will set it up as if you were peer reviewing, but you're not going to peer review. It's just a way to get you to have access to someone else's video. And then you are going to have about a week to create the video. Create the email. And then we're going to do a peer review on your email, and then you're going to turn in the final copy. So you have the dates when everything is due at the bottom of the prompt, but you're going to have a few days to go ahead and do the usability testing and write the email. Then there's a peer review, and then the final copy is due. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions, but I hope this has made it pretty clear. And like I said, there's a peer review, and whenever there's a peer review, I always look over your guys' stuff. So if I notice any huge errors, I'll catch it before the final one is due. But you'll have a few days to test the video, come up with your recommendations, and draft an email. Okay? Don't forget to take the quiz. Let me know if you have any questions.